Supervisor Fletcher.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As public officials, we have an obligation to act in the public interest. We have an obligation to protect public health, to protect our children. The simple fact is there are clear dangers associated with electronic cigarettes and vaping devices. It is rare when you have unanimous agreement amongst local public health officials, state public health officials, and federal public health officials that there are real dangers, there are real concerns, there is a wealth of information that we do not know about the impact and implications of these devices. And so today, as a board, we're considering joining jurisdictions across California and across this country that are taking wise and prudent action in an effort to make sure that we protect public health. We're calling for a ban on flavored products that target our children and a moratorium on untested vaping devices until such time as the public health risks have been properly assessed and a reliable testing and regulatory framework is in place. It is clear that illnesses linked to electronic smoking devices are being detected in every single state. It is also clear that there is a rapid increase not only in these illnesses, but in the severity of them, along with the deaths that are being linked directly to them. That is included here in California. In our state alone, over 100 cases of serious illness, over half of those are children. They're teenagers and young adults who are being hospitalized with severe respiratory impact from devices that, again, we don't fully understand the impact and the implications of what's happening. The state of California public health officer has recommended people stop using electronic smoking devices until the investigations are concluded and we have a better handle on the impacts and implications. Our own local public health officials have concurred with that. As stewards of the public health, the County of San Diego, I believe, has a responsibility. It's our obligation to raise awareness and act in the interest of public health. Right now, we simply do not know enough about vaping devices, the chemicals that are in them, the combustibility of when they are lighted and combined, and the long-term health implications that happen from that. So today's proposal seeks to do a few things. First, we want to protect our kids by stopping the sale of flavored products for smoking. That includes vaping, consistent with tobacco regulation that has been incredibly successful in reducing teen smoking. Second, we want to take a pause on the devices themselves, a temporary pause, until such time as there can be proper testing, proper regulatory framework, a proper understanding of what happens, and some sense that we can convey to the public a reliable sense of the dangers associated with these devices. These products are generally untested and unregulated, and so putting the brakes on them until such time as we have a better handle in a temporary moratorium seems prudent. I know that these devices are touted as smoking cessation devices, but the simple reality is the data shows for every one person who uses them as a smoking cessation device, 80 children start using them. For every one person using them as a smoking cessation device, when there are other and more effective smoking cessation programs, over 80 children begin to use them. That is not in the interest of public health. We also have in our measure areas around tobacco, outdoor commercial restaurant patios, a tobacco retail licensing program, which are a part of the broader effort. And included in this is a public health and awareness campaign. The governor recently allocated $20 million, and I know our local department will be working with the State Department of Public Health on a vaping awareness campaign to highlight the dangers and risks to kids. We are acting with other jurisdictions throughout California and this country out of an abundance of caution and prudence to do all that we can to make a difference. On the youth part, I think this is a critical part of what we're doing, because one part of our effort is targeting the vaping devices and the other is targeted particularly at youth. And I think it's important for us to recognize that tobacco, big tobacco, has a history of targeting children. This is well documented. This has been laid out, and we also took action. Years ago, when they were using cartoons and developed flavors to mask the taste of tobacco and cigarettes, we took action. And over the last few decades, we have seen a precipitous decline in teen smoking, which is vital and something that as a parent, and I think as a general member of the public, we think is a positive progress and positive steps. But now in an era where kids can't put down their phones, these new electronic devices with flavored liquid cartridges like bubblegum, watermelon, and cotton candy are being targeted to our children. 80% of high school age kids that report smoking use an electronic smoking device. 80%. It's according to the State Department of Public Health. Recent federal data funded by the National Institute on Drug Abuse shows that 25% of this year's high school seniors and 20% of 10th graders recorded vaping nicotine within the last month. That is more than double the reported use from last year. We are erasing the hard-fought progress we've made in protecting kids from the dangers of smoking. And yes, vaping devices do not have tobacco, but nicotine is bad. Kids' brains keep developing until age 25, and nicotine disrupts the part of the brain that control attention, learning, mood, and impulse control. Brain synapses are permanently closed, impacting a child forever. The dangers of nicotine on adolescent development is pronounced and is well documented and well known, and we have to act. New York, Michigan, Massachusetts, San Jose, San Mateo, LA County, nearly 50 California jurisdictions have prohibited or restricted the sale of flavored tobacco products or are simultaneously considering such action. 2 cities, Manhattan Beach and Beverly Hills, have banned the sale of all tobacco products. That is something I would support, but is not something that is being proposed here today. Right now, there are simply too many unknowns for us to sit idly by and hope that it all works itself out. Simple reality is people are getting sick. People are dying. Our kids are being impacted. And we have come up with something that I think will help protect us. So today, Supervisor Jacob and I are asking our board for support in the following items. Return within 60 days for recommendations for the unincorporated area to prohibit the sale and distribution of all flavored products for smoking as defined by state law. Establish a moratorium on the sale and distribution of all electronic smoking devices. Prohibit smoking as defined by state law in outdoor restaurants and commercial dinings, patio areas, and a buffer zone outside of those patio areas, and then to return within 180 days with recommendations for the unincorporated area to establish a tobacco retail licensing program to strengthen enforcement of minimum age sales laws and to facilitate compliant monitoring of retailers, and revise applicable sections of County Administrative Code related to tobacco control regulations to align with state law and resolve any inconsistencies and duplications, and finally, to conduct a vaping public health awareness campaign. I know this board will have board deliberations after public comment with some considerations for some tweaks and amendments. But at the end of the day, we have an obligation to act in the interest of public health, to heed the science, to heed the data, to heed what everyone is telling us to do, to look at the facts and available data and do everything within our power to strike that balance of public health. Thank you.